The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello there, welcome to the show. Brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Dan Moylan with Michael Normanton and Moscow White as well, Daniel Chapman. Let's look ahead to Southampton now then, shall we? Trip to the south coast. It's going to be nice and sunny. There's no trains running, which is a bit of a bind.
32 degrees, they reckon.
Which so the Spaniards in the squad are going to feel like they're closer to home, the beautiful Mediterranean air.
Or is Rodrigo going to be huffing and puffing his way around like we used to?
It's interesting, isn't it, at this early stage of the season where we were sort of saying before, like Wolves' first bit of data that we've been able to analyse for what the football's going to look like under Marsch, how this team's going to perform. I think we fell the right side of the line, didn't we? It looked all right. And then you build on that with what's going to happen here at St Mary's. What do you expect?
I don't know. I think we might do all right, but it's hard to say. It's very, like I say, there's not an awful lot of data there, is there? They, on paper, look like a shambles because they obviously got a bit of a spanking against Spurs and they ended last season in absolutely horrible form. 5 points from 36 I had a look at, which will send you down if you can only manage that sort of a tally all season. It looks like they might be kind of knackered. But I was surprised to see they'd actually signed a load of players over summer because I was just looking at their squad and thinking, all right, I didn't think they'd actually strengthened. It's
worth saying that a lot of their recruitment took the form of young players from Man City because they poached the Man City academy guy, didn't they, I think? Recruitment guy.
They've got Lavia and Bazunu, is that how you say it? The goalkeeper. 12 million quid for a Man City backup goalkeeper.
It's mad, isn't it? This is how they stay the right side of the FFP profit and sustainability stuff, isn't it? They just farm out a load of children for lots of money. It's mad, isn't it? A keeper starts at 10, 12 million and then a bog standard outfield player, we saw from JB, that's 5 million just as you get going. Anybody with a reputation.
On the plus side, I think that means Meslier is worth about £80 million.
So we'll sell him for about 45.
Hey, that's the standard.
Hey, there we go.
That's the standard. You didn't ask Kinnear about when we're going to sell Meslier, did you?
No, I didn't actually.
You should have asked for a date on that.
Again, he told me off air though. He did give me
end of the season?
Yeah.
End of the season, cool.
Yeah. And is it Manchester United the destination? Did he confirm that?
Couldn't say. He made me sign an NDA. So.
Swap deal with De Gea.
Oh God,
what
an awful thought.
The Joel Robles being talked up as the number one for the season after.
Lots of experience. Yeah, he knows the club now.
Yeah, it's his. It'll be like the last time we had a goalkeeper who'd been on the bench for a long time but was ready for the first team.
Do we get Sinistera back for this game?
Oh, I think it might be a bit too soon for him. We got Dan James.
That's true, yeah.
So there will be another option. I think Sinistera is kind of due on the grass, isn't he? Along with Forshaw and Cooper, all kind of much more. Cooper's a bit weird because he's had no pre-season whatsoever, has he? Because he did his Achilles on a treadmill. Whereas Sinistera and Forshaw got a bit of training in before they got hurt.
Who've they signed them? Southampton. What are we going to face? Armel Bella Ketchup.
Apparently so.
Romeo Lavia, Joe Aribo, Gavin Bazunu, Mateus Lish, Sekou Mara. I've heard of Sekou Mara. We were linked with him, weren't we?
Yes, he's the child from Bordeaux who we didn't buy. Probably should have done just to stop them having him.
Yep.
So it's like Monopoly. You need to get everything you land on. Buy it.
Yeah, one of them.
Buy all of them.
Ruin everyone's game. Make it go on for days.
That's what you're aiming for. Yes, Armel Bella Ketchup is a 20-year-old centre-back, apparently. There you go.
And there's a really obvious joke about the sauce and all that, but I'm not going to make it. I think I just did by accident. What do we expect from this? I've got a feeling this is sort of, I'm in the draw because I'm riding the optimism way from Wolves. Draw towards win. I'm somewhere in that ball. I'm about 2 points, I think.
Yeah, I think I am as well. It feels like, imagine if we won the first two games. We're nearly up.
Yeah, I think
we've
we'll
nearly
win.
done it. Do you think?
You said that like we were idiots for even thinking otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean,
well, I don't want to feel
we
like
beat Wolves. Wolves are a decent team, and then this lot got absolutely tanked 4-1 by Spurs, and they were awful. And I don't want to judge too much on the own goal, but the own goal was hilarious. The fella Salazar is in the 6-yard box. I don't think there's even a Tottenham player in the penalty area, and instead of clearing it with his right, he tries to do something with his left and just kicks it in.
He tried to open his body out, didn't he? Which is completely the wrong place to do it. Yeah,
great. And so that's the kind of decision making that is coming from their defenders.
There According to WhoScored.com, they were non-aggressive as well this season, which bodes well because we're aggressive.
Yeah, and
so they'll be meek.
They are supposed to be doing the Red Bull stuff just as we are. But if they're not being aggressive, then that ain't going to work because it relies on that so much. And they were, I think, the one warning of what I saw of them against Tottenham was how exposed they were behind the fullbacks. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that seems familiar. So there's a risk there in the future. Southampton are they're the big warning from the past about our future of where the decent mid-table team who can throw in those 9-0s a couple of times a year, that where you just wonder where that's come from. And it will be good if we adapt the best of what the style of football has to offer without the 9-0 defeats.
Yeah, I think we should avoid that.
Yeah, I'm up for that, but it's still, that's kind of like the risk when we come up against Manchester City.
We need to beat them, or at least draw, so they can keep ahead of us in the relegation odds. Because at the start of the season we were 4th favourites. Right. We're now 5th after the opening day. Southampton have just crept ahead of us.
I do want to air a grievance about WhoScored.com, by the way, which I mentioned on the Phil Hay show on Monday, which is that Who Scored with their silly bloody algorithm. So Who Scored, they do this just through algorithm, works out what the skills are, what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, based on things that happen in the game. It's not a human who sits there and watches them and decides. They decided that Brendan Aronson was the poorest player on the pitch in that Leeds Wolves game.
Really?
According to their stupid algorithm, yeah.
Well, that does make me slightly revise my view because I thought he was great, but I'm not willing to ignore what WhoScored.com have to say.
So do you hate him now?
They're normally accurate. Yeah, I think he's a
waste of money.
The worst thing about Southampton, and another reason why they will lose, is that against Tottenham they took off Adam Armstrong and replaced him with Stuart Armstrong.
Yeah,
and that's just not a sign of a good team.
Yeah, I saw that caption when it came up.
They're not even related, are they?
Came up on Match of the Day.
When we're taking off Archie Gray for Harry Gray, fine. But this business, 2 unrelated Armstrongs subbing each other, no. So relegation for Southampton. And we will beat them. I think this is a Leeds win, and then 2 wins out of 2, 6 points on the board.
How long did it take us to get 2 wins last season?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, go on. It was forever, wasn't it?
I've got last season's results in opening Wikipedia, so I can tell you. We won against Watford in game number 7 of the season. Then we went to Southampton and lost pitifully. Drew against Wolves. Then we beat Norwich away 2-1. So it took us until Halloween to get 2 wins on the board. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And they were against Watford and Norwich, which didn't really count.
10 games. And the next one was Palace in November. And then after that, Burnley in January.
God, it was bad going, wasn't it?
So it took us until after January, or after the Burnley game, to beat more than one team that didn't get relegated.
I think I said on the Phil Hay show a stat that they pumped out on Match of the Day 2 on Sunday night, which is, and it was Chappers who said it, who said if you get 8 points from your opening 5 games, you've got, I think it's either a 92 or a 96% chance of staying up. So you can basically...
How many points from your first 2?
8 from your first 5.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 8 from your first 2. I was going to say,
as well.
That's a real stretch.
If I said that, I didn't mean it.
If you achieve a mathematical impossibility, then you stand a very good chance of continuing that.
Yeah. What I meant was your opening 5, yeah. 8 from 5.
Let's do that.
Yeah, and then your season's then sorted, isn't it?
We said it about the opening 1. It was a good start, and I'd like us to build, I think, 2 from 2. Chelsea next. I mean, we're going far ahead. It's probably a bit more difficult, although they don't look too great, but they're probably quite efficient. And then Brighton, you never know what you're going to get with Brighton. But then Everton, Brentford, Forest. This early run of games, I think, we broke everything apart after a bad run of games last season. I think we need to do the opposite and take advantage of when the fixtures are being kind. Don't turn our nose up. And nothing of what I saw about us against Wolves. There are the bits of the chances that they had and the bit when we couldn't get the ball, but there's nothing there that really was like a flashing warning light of like, we cannot beat Southampton.
That Southampton game last season was, at the time, like pretty much certainly the top 3 worst performances under Bielsa, wasn't it? Because there didn't seem to be a particular reason for it.
Yeah.
We'd had games where we were playing a really good team, or there were a lot of injuries or something, but that we turned up thinking we were probably better than them because we'd beaten them at the end of the previous season, and it just was horrible. The whole game was, nothing worked in it, and it was a warning sign. At that point we were still kind of going, well, we'll turn this around. We can definitely turn this around. Just
looking at the previous season, actually the first post-promotion season, and we just got wins on the board, by the end of November. So obviously the calendar was shifted due to it being post-COVID, but by game 3 we'd got 2 wins, Fulham and Sheffield United, then drawing with Man City. We either seemed to win or lose in that first season back up. There weren't many draws at all, were they? Which is, I think that was the thing that elevated us so high. So quite a lot of significant defeats in there, but also just plenty of wins, particularly in that home stretch. But even the middle portion of the season, there were no draws between Arsenal at home, 22nd of November that year, and the 13th of March, Chelsea at home. Again, both very creditable draws at that. Everything else was either win or a loss in between times.
I think the only other risk I could see from Southampton, and we paid the price last season as well, is don't foul them near our penalty area. Because
special teams.
Yeah, they've got Ward-Prowse can do free kicks quite good, can't he?
is that the sum total of our tactical analysis? Don't give away free kicks, and I'm sure actually that will form part of the coaching plan for the game. I think
it did last year as well. Weren't they saying like, oh, we need to be wary of him, and then we just went and gave him a daft odd stupid free kick on the edge of the penalty area. And it is a risk factor in our aggressive all-in approach. We do get the tackles in. I think a lot for us this season will depend on how referees go. I don't know who it is for this game, but we need referees just not to take against the way that we play.
Although the all-in seems to be higher up the pitch generally, doesn't it? It doesn't seem to be a thing when they get around the box.
Llorento's slow. Llorento? Because I was rhyming, it was slow or too soon. Llorente, he can't catch them.
Llorento.
Oh, God.
Let's have a look at who the referee's going to be then, shall we? I'll find out.
Some not bad. It doesn't really matter.
They might not have announced it, yeah.
No, they don't always.
Do they not?
Jesse March had been trying to get at them in his post-game conference otherwise.
Yes, it's called Psychology 101. But I guess in this match, at least, there's the business that Southampton will be trying to do the same to us. So it could just turn into a massive kicking fest. That'd be fun.
Let's have a look. So, no, there seems to be no referee.
Okay.
So
keep it that way.
Referee it yourselves, lads.
That game I went
just
to see.
A linesman each.
That game I went to see on holiday, I'm not saying it wasn't serious, but it was free to get in. And one of the referee was wearing a bib and the shorts of the home team. So I don't think it was. I don't think it was. It was, and there were no linesmen either. So yeah, it was
blown for offside.
It was not. So the ref was a sub who was doing everything.
We can have the linos can be one sub each from each team, and then Marsh and Hasenhüttl can referee a half each.
Mm-hmm.
Seems
I think
fair.
that's fair.
Running round in a wedding suit, Hasenhüttl. So what do we reckon then for this? You're confident of a win, Moscow.
Yes.
Michael, you're are you going soft win?
Soft win.
Yeah, I'm soft win as well.
I think we're going to win and not concede. I think we'll score 2. So I think
that's 2-0
then.
Well, maybe we'll score 3. But yeah, 2-0 minimum.
The Square Ball Podcast.